the station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Now at 11, Metro Police are being tight-lipped about a shooting that they say left a suspect in serious condition. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. Police were called to Hackberry Court at around 8:20 tonight on a report of shots fired. That's near Madison Avenue and East Stop 11 Road on the southeast side. At some point, a suspect was shot in what police are calling an officer-involved shooting. They say no officers were injured and there is no known threat to the community. IMPD gave a short statement near the scene but did not take any questions. We will push for answers and let you know what we learn.
A Marine from Logansport was one of the service members killed in Thursday's terror attack in Afghanistan. Indiana Congressman Jim Baird tweeted condolences, writing, quote, "Heartbroken to learn that Corporal Humberto Sanchez, a Marine from Logansport, was among those lost in yesterday's attack. He bravely answered the call to serve his nation, and I am both proud of his service and deeply saddened by his loss." We are working to learn more about Corporal Sanchez's life. Logansport Community School Corporation says he was a graduate of Logansport High. We will bring you updates as we learn new information. Also developing tonight, the Pentagon announced a U.S. airstrike targeting the Islamic State in Afghanistan in retaliation for the deadly airport attack in Kabul. We'll continue to bring you updates on this situation as well.
Now to the forecast. You can see from this live look outside from our tower camera, all is quiet now. Well, this comes after some evening storms forced delays at a few outdoor events. Kevin joining us now with your weekend forecast. Hey, Kevin.
And we've gotten used to that routine, right? These big thunderstorms with heavy rainfall, and then they fade away by the time we get to this time at night. 93, that was our high today, 15th time. Temperatures have reached 90 or above. We're still at 75 degrees, as Mark mentioned, and as you can tell when you just look out your window, it is dry now in central Indiana. Rain has come to an end. What will we wake up to? Temperatures in the mid-70s, may have some patchy fog for a little bit. Won't take long, and the temperatures will begin to spike. 80 at 10 a.m. Chance for thunderstorms tomorrow, still around 30%, just about as warm as today. We've got a lot to talk about when I come back. We'll talk about the most likely time for thunderstorms in the forecast, the potential impact from Ida in the middle of next week, and then the pattern change, the temperatures going down coming up.
New tonight, police have released details about a possible suspect vehicle in a hit and run that severely injured a 13-year-old girl as she walked to her bus stop. Investigators say a red four-door vehicle struck the teen near Mithofer Road and Penrith Drive on the northeast side of Indianapolis around 6:45 this morning. Detectives say the car may be a Honda Civic between model years 2016 to 2018. If anyone has information related to this case, you are asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS.
Officials painted a grim picture of the COVID crisis in Indiana at a news briefing today. The state health commissioner called this period the darkest time in the pandemic. Dr. Christina Box predicts things will get worse in the next 2 to 6 weeks. This comes as hospitals already face staffing shortages and capacity issues. Nearly 4,900 new positive COVID cases were reported today. And the spike in hospitalizations continues. 2,186 COVID patients were being treated in hospitals statewide as of yesterday. Dr. Box was asked if health officials should be doing more to help stop the spread.
I am not sure, Sherry, what additional things to do. Even last year when we had a mask mandate, there were many areas of our state that chose to totally ignore that mask mandate. And we can show the data how this is affecting Hoosiers, even Hoosiers that are fully vaccinated in their health care. And people feel very strongly that this is a personal thing that they want to have control over, and I understand that. I do not understand how wearing a mask is so difficult for people to try to prevent transmitting this virus.
Governor Eric Holcomb did not take part in the Department of Health briefing, but he answered questions about the pandemic at an unrelated event. He praised healthcare workers and said he understands why many are frustrated and even walking away from the profession.
We're watching other states try to deal with this, and some of, even offering more money, kind of trying to rob Peter to pay Paul, and folks are saying, no, you don't understand. As long as people aren't getting vaccinated, I can't, I've had enough. It's been 18 months of this. And now we have the vaccine, so we're not where we were 12 months ago. We have the answer, and it is sitting right there on a silver platter.
Any Indiana resident age 12 and older is eligible for a free COVID-19 vaccine. You can find clinic locations near you and make an appointment online at ourshot.in.gov or by calling 211.
Now to the state of the pandemic nationwide. The U.S. is reporting more than 800 COVID-19 deaths per day, the highest average in 5 months.
And as ABC's Morgan Norwood reports tonight, the intelligence community is revealing its findings about where the virus may have originated.
Tonight, the Director of National Intelligence releasing the findings of an investigation into the origin of COVID-19. 4 agencies assessing with the low confidence that COVID-19 spread to humans from natural exposure to an infected animal. 1 agency assessing with moderate confidence that the virus came from a laboratory incident. However, there was more agreement that the virus was not made as a biological weapon. President Biden promising the effort to learn the origin of the virus will continue. Meanwhile, the toll of the pandemic rising by the day. More than 1,200 deaths reported in just 24 hours, the highest single-day total since early March.
I think the hardest thing on us is watching these young people get this sick or die.
All 50 states now saying high community transmission.
Our waiting room is full of COVID-19 patients.
In Oregon, hospitalizations up nearly tenfold in the past 6 weeks. And in Kentucky, the admission count breaking records. The governor fed up.
I'm going to admit up front today, a little emotional and a little raw.
From coast to coast, pediatric hospital admissions also climbing, up 514% since July 4th. Meanwhile, a glimmer of hope as millions of students head back to the classrooms. New data shows that vaccination rates among 12 to 17-year-olds are improving. The CDC director emphasizing the effectiveness of the agency's guidelines for schools, citing a study of prevention measures in LA.
School-associated cases remained lower than cases in the community because of prevention efforts.
Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now to an epidemic that has gotten worse during the pandemic. Overdoses in Indiana skyrocketed by 50% in 2020. A new team in Hamilton County is working to reverse that trend, specifically when it comes to overdose deaths. Nearly 20% of overdoses reported in Hamilton County end in a fatality. Officials say so far this year, 54 residents have lost their lives to an accidental overdose. A new suicide and overdose fatality review team will examine the root cause of the issue. The group includes representatives from public health, public safety, the court system, the coroner's office, and local treatment facilities.
We're trying to provide more resources and get more people at the table so that we can have better ideas, bridge the gaps between different community agencies where maybe more could have been done to help these individuals who unfortunately have passed.
With substance abuse disorder, this is a long path. It's not one and done, everything's going to be fine. We know people who have substance use disorders are in long-term treatment, and it's just not, hey, let's get you into a treatment facility and everything will be fine. It's a long process.
22 counties in the state have a suicide and overdose fatality review team. New funding will also help address the overdose crisis in Indiana. The state is providing an additional $1.3 million to distribute the opioid reversal agent naloxone across the state. The organization Overdose Lifeline plays a big role in getting naloxone to people in need. The group is distributing 35,000 doses around the state and placing 215 additional nalox boxes around the state. The boxes contain overdose reversal kits. Anyone can get one anonymously.
Now to a new effort to help people living with domestic abuse. The statewide campaign aims to end the stigma surrounding this issue.
I used to be really ashamed when I was going through the abuse, but once I was out of it, I thought, I can really help people.
The campaign, called IA Against DA, shares messages from domestic violence survivors. Those messages can be found on signs inside doctors' offices, neighborhood centers, and public transit. But the campaign turns the focus from survivors to the community. The goal is to target people that surround victims to help them better understand the complexity of abuse and to offer informed, compassionate support.
The second part of the campaign are things that bystanders often say, reasons that they give for not feeling able to be helpful. So things like, I didn't know it was happening, I didn't want to get involved. A lot of people think that it's difficult to talk about, and that creates more barriers for people who are experiencing the abuse.
When I was in that relationship, I didn't see what was going on. And I feel like I understand from an outsider's point of view. It's
tricky to know or put your finger on, this doesn't seem right, but do I speak up? Do I say something? And it's a lot easier to just pretend nothing's wrong, sweep it under the rug.
The campaign urges every Hoosier to understand that domestic abuse can take many forms, including physical, emotional, sexual, economic, and spiritual. For more information about this campaign, go to inagainstda.com. The website provides a statewide directory with links to community-based support and resources.
Next, demonstrators gather to protest the Supreme Court's decision that ends the eviction moratorium, but they say their mission does not stop there. And just
let there be no mistake, it is the most noble of professions.
Honoring fallen firefighters who made the ultimate sacrifice.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Some Hoosiers say they will continue fighting for renters' rights despite a Supreme Court ruling ending a moratorium on evictions. The National Housing Rights Group Cancel the Rents organized a demonstration this afternoon on Lugar Plaza in downtown Indianapolis. This comes after the Supreme Court blocked the Biden administration from enforcing the latest mandate, saying the Centers for Disease Control lacked the authority to reinstate the moratorium on August 3rd. Leaders with Cancel the Rents say their mission is about much more than just a temporary freeze on evictions.
It's not just about the Supreme Court. It's not just about Congress. It's not just about the Biden administration. It's about this whole system is rotten to the core, and that we need to protest every aspect of it.
According to the Census Bureau data, roughly 3.5 million people across the country say they face eviction in the next 2 months. You can find the list of local rental resources on our website at WRTV.com.
An annual Central Indiana event ensures that Hoosier firefighters who make the ultimate sacrifice will never be forgotten. Today, first responders, elected officials, and other community members honored fallen firefighters. The ceremony was held at the Indiana Law Enforcement and Firefighters Memorial in downtown Indianapolis. The event specifically honored 8 firefighters who lost their lives in the line of duty.
We don't just honor them as firefighters. Each one of them was more than just that. They were husbands, fathers, sons, friends, but they were also coaches, teachers, volunteers. They were neighbors. That network of loss is immense. Their impact on society goes well beyond the fire scene or the EMS run.
Indiana Homeland Security Director Steve Cox was among the speakers. He is a former South Bend firefighter.
Local firefighters and other first responders are on their way to the Gulf Coast tonight. They are members of Indiana Task Force 1 headed to their latest assignment. The team is being deployed to Louisiana to assist with search and rescue operations that may be needed in response to Hurricane Ida.
They are expecting a large storm surge at the coast, and so we're prepared to do swift water rescue or standing water rescue if necessary to remove people from the homes that they've sheltered in place at.
Today's deployment comes 6 weeks after Indiana Task Force 1 returned from Florida, where they assisted with recovery efforts at the site of the condo collapse in Surfside. The team expects to arrive in Louisiana tomorrow morning.
I'll have more on Ida here in just 1 second. If you're counting, we've had 15 days now so far this summer with temperatures at 90 or above. Typically, we have 20 for the year. 92, your high tomorrow. We hit 93 today, as we talked about, 90 on Sunday. A little better chance that we'll see thunderstorms Sunday, but the most likely time will arrive on Monday. Latest information on Ida, and this is likely obviously to change as we continue to go through the weekend, but down a little bit. Category 3 prediction now from the National Hurricane Center coming onshore Louisiana sometime late Sunday evening. The remnants of that will curve to the north and then northeast, so Indiana's within that cone of possibility. Keep our eye on that. As far as rainfall potential with this coming onshore, obviously the biggest impact down along the Gulf Coast and then curving north and east. Right now it looks like the Ohio River or south would have the most rain. As we go through the day tomorrow, 10 a.m. an isolated shower or thunder shower. During the heat of the day, they bubble up once again, and you know how it goes. It rains, it pours. And we had rainfall rates again today, well over an inch in under an hour's period of time. And as we get to tomorrow night, they start to calm back down. Temperatures upper 80s to lower 90s. That's part of the story. The other part of the story continues to be the heat index, what it feels like. It will feel like 100 degrees. On Sunday, chance for thunderstorms there a little more consistently through the day. The increase in cloud cover and the earlier timing on thunderstorms keeps temperatures down just a little bit. 7 a.m. not much. By the time we get to late morning, some showers, thunderstorms bubble up. Into the afternoon hours, continuing with showers and thunderstorms, but it's really Sunday night that we begin to see a little more organization out ahead of a cold front. Remember, I talked about the pattern change. That will come on the other side of that frontal boundary, so thunderstorms are likely Monday. Temperatures will be cooler as we move beyond Wednesday's high 81. That's also about the timing when we'll have to keep our eye on the remnants of Ida and the potential impact with rain in central Indiana. But consistently cooler next week with highs in the 80s and lows back in the 60s.
You know, when we checked in earlier with Kevin at the 6 p.m. Weather forecast, he said, this is not going to be a good and comfortable night to watch high school football at all.
Well, you know, it was a good night to sit at your desk and watch the Colts, though. So I'll have plenty of time to spend in the heat and then eventually the rain and the cold and snow by the time the season's done. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Long season. Colts in action tonight, though, along with some high school football. We'll have both of those as the Colts are winding down the preseason, and it's one more look for several players, perhaps their final chance to make the team. We will recap their game in Detroit, plus a couple of sterling high school performances. That is all coming up next on the News at 11. To you all. Thanks for staying up with us on this Friday night. The Colts' final game of the preseason is generally a glorified walkthrough. Tonight, though, in Detroit, an important show for at least a handful of guys simply trying to make the roster for this season and a last chance to figure out who will back up Carson Wentz at quarterback. We'll get to that in a moment. We can show you, though, that Wentz did work out during the pregame, went through a full set of warm-ups, looked pretty sharp doing it as well, and seemed pretty happy with it. The Colts defense making the first big play of the game. Opening drive, Kwity Paye, the new draft pick, just up the road. He played his college ball in Michigan. Strip sack, Taylor Stallworth, the recovery. Nice takeaway to start it off. Offense, though, 3 and out, got a field goal. Jacob Eason, though, the starter at quarterback, settled down in the second quarter, rattled together a nice drive that included 4 straight completions, moved the ball down the field, but again, stalled out in the red zone and settled for 3 points. Eason played until the 2-minute mark of the half. That's when Sam Ehlinger came in and put up the biggest play of the first half of the game. Under pressure, watch him spin away from the defender. Off his back foot, throws it over the top, and it's Des Patman getting down the field. 60-yard gain takes it down to the 10-yard line, but then a sack and a penalty and a mess that ended with Ehlinger eventually limping off the field with a knee injury. Colts get another field goal after that. On to quarterback 3, Brett Hundley would play the entire second half. Could he perhaps end up being the backup? His only preseason action, ran for a first down earlier in this drive, then finished it off with a rollout and a touchdown pass to Deion Jackson. 2-point run would tie the game up at 17 all with 12 minutes left, a 19-play, 92-yard, 10-minute drive. Jackson ran another one in late, so the Colts win. Yay, I guess. They finished the preseason 3-0. The offense, though, finally getting some numbers tonight in the 27-17 win.
You know, we just talked about it as a team last night, really all week. This is the last time that this group will be together because we know the tough decisions have to come. So we just appreciate everybody's hard work. There's a lot of good football players in there. And we were thankful for the work they put in and thankful that they played winning football. That's always good. I know it's only preseason, but still glad that we were able to finish it off good.
Yeah, it's credit to Brett and those guys out there today for making plays when we needed to make plays. It's a good group of dudes in that locker room. Not a lot of give up, not a lot of quit. It showed these last couple of games. Just being a part of it's pretty cool.
So all 3 quarterbacks play tonight. Who will be Wentz's backup? Eason had the better numbers in the preseason. Ehlinger left tonight's game with that knee injury, so there's that to consider. Hundley just the one appearance, but certainly got himself into the conversation. We will get the Colts' final 53-man roster coming up on Tuesday afternoon. We talked about the hot night around central Indiana. Maybe not exactly what you would call football weather, but some early season big time matchups on the field have it feeling like what we will see in October or November. Let's start in Hendricks County tonight. Danville, the top ranked team in Class 3A, taking on Mooresville, number 2 in 4A. The teams traded touchdowns on the opening possessions, and the Pioneers on the kick after the Danville TD. And look how quickly Gideon Brimage chews up 90 yards for the score. Great blocks to start it and a great sprint to the finish. That put Mooresville back on top. They would score the next 3 touchdowns. Here's one of them. Nick Patterson floats it up. Logan Jackson makes the catch and outruns 2 defenders. 80 yards on that play. The big plays just keep on coming. We showed you Brimage. How about an encore from Gideon? This is after another Danville touchdown in the second quarter. This time he's got to do a little more work. Couple of nice moves back the other way, but a couple of good blocks and more speed to finish it off. A 79-yard return for the TD. Mooresville scored 42 in the first half. 55-21 when it was all done. A very impressive 2-0 start for the Pioneers as they go on the road and pick up the win over Danville. Dave Marin has another top 10 matchup for us tonight on the city's north side.
A hot August night did not keep the fans away from this one tonight as Buff hosted the New Palestine Dragons. Opening drive, the Braves no problem moving the ball. Nolan Buckman finds Max Walters for the big gain. But once they got it into the red zone, they couldn't move the ball. The turnover on downs, but the Braves D would step up, force the Dragons to punt deep in their own end zone, and the special teams took it from there. And the Braves are back in business with good field position. A play later, Buckman would find Anthony Anee for the touchdown and the 7-0 lead. Newpal would answer right back, marching down the field. Then Grayson Thomas would take it in for the touchdown to tie the game at 7. But the air attack would continue for Brebeuf. Buckman finds Walters playing catch for the huge gain here. Then Buckman finds an A again, this time to finish the drive and give Brebeuf the 14-7 lead. Everyone working tonight, even the Braves ball boy getting it done. The Braves would add a field goal right before half. Ryan Kerstep, good from 50 yards out. And Brebeuf would go into halftime with the 17-7 lead. Then in the third quarter, when he's not catching them, he's throwing them. And then he puts it up. A great grab by Walters, who finds the end zone yet again. And Brebeuf would go on to get the win tonight, 38-14. Dave Marin, WRTV Sports.
Must be the number 1 team in 3A next week. We shall see. First big Saturday of college football is next weekend. Coming up in the week ahead, I'll have previews from IU, Purdue, and Ball State. We will have Notre Dame's opener a week from Saturday right here for you on WRTV next Sunday on the 5th. Should be a lot of fun as the season begins. Hey, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. The news at 11 wraps up after one more break.
And as we've said, we'll have a pattern change. We will get cooler temperatures. We just have to wait. Weekend will be just as hot and sticky as we've had all week. 92 tomorrow, 90 on Sunday. That chance of thunderstorms a little higher second half of the weekend. And then thunderstorms Monday, Mark, with a purpose. That will lead to consistently cooler temperatures next week. Have a great weekend.
Are you all ready for all of that?
Of course I am.
Hey, that's going to do it for us here on WRTV News at 11. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a safe weekend. Good night.